Nicky got me rolling, got me shaking, got me aching, got me twitching, got me snitching, got me making a fuss. Nicky got me bowled over, got me over his shoulder, got me slapping, got me whacking, got me smacking my lips. Oh, Nicolas Cage, oh, Nicolas Cage, he's an international treasure of ours, yeah. Oh, Nicolas Cage.
Hello and welcome to the final episode of season 2 of Nicolas Cage International Treasure. We are at least 4 Prats, and we have now watched at least 23 films of Nicolas Cage's. Our goal is to watch every single Nicolas Cage film. I'm Nathan, I'm joined by John.
Hello.
And Kieran.
Hello, señoritas.
We are now the regular announcers.
Yes.
And we've just spent a long time filming a sketch.
Yeah, my
I'm knackered. Who knew that just standing and telling people what to do would be so much work?
Yep.
Yeah, John was directing.
John was directing, me and Kieran were acting.
Yeah.
Acting for me is a bit of a far reach.
Nah.
It's good.
But you'll see that. It'll probably already be out, the sketch we filmed.
By the time this comes
Yeah,
out.
because of the backlogs.
But this is the final episode. We didn't do our list. We're going to have to pause.
I mean, we can just keep it. We can keep that in.
Yeah.
It's a bit. We'll just talk through. We're making the list.
Wait, didn't we do the list for the next one?
No,
No,
the list of our top 10.
10
of 20 now.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just make this episode a bit
We'll
longer.
just pause and come back.
Yeah.
Like we did last time on episode 10. But we're at least 4 Prats. We do a number of things, and this is Nicolas Cage International Treasure. The film this week that we are looking at
Drive
is
Angie.
2011's Drive Angry, directed by Patrick Lussier, written by Todd Farmer and Patrick Lussier, starring Nic Cage, Amber Heard, William Fichtner, and Billy Burke. The synopsis is, it's Constantine, but somehow worse because they don't understand the fuck it, I didn't finish the film, alright?
Yeah, I know.
Me and Nathan, John. Sorry, I'm used to saying me and Nathan finished the film.
That hurts a lot.
Me and John finished the film.
This is
I know,
the
I watched it
only
this
film
morning. It
I
was
have
terrible.
I have not finished. This is my first offence.
Right, so
okay?
And your only offence, I hope.
And my own.
Since me and John have seen the end of the film, me and John should give our opinion on it. I liked this film. I say liked to the point where it got to. I think I liked it because it gave off the aesthetic of a really shit early 2000s film. You know the ones where your dad would buy a Friday night and on DVD or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. I enjoyed it.
I mean, it didn't just give off the aesthetics of a shitty early
was.
2000 film. It was in every sense a shitty early 2000
It was from
film.
2011 though.
There is a reason
Yeah.
I did not finish this film.
Why?
Tell us.
Because I thought it was real bad.
Oh, really? If only all of
Hasn't
us had
stopped
that
me before.
excuse. Yeah. It was real bad.
It was real bad.
The premise of this film is man comes back from escapes hell,
No, he
Yeah.
escapes prison.
hell.
which is hell.
Prison.
Yeah, he
The
tells
first
everyone
shot
it's
of the film
It's
is
him
a
driving.
cool car in CGI escaping hell.
Yeah,
The first scene?
yeah.
Yeah.
The opening scene
very
is him
first scene.
driving across the bridge.
The
out of
car
hell.
goes over like a ramp. It's like a cool car,
Yeah.
like a Mustang or some shit. And it goes over a ramp and it lands in a broken
Why-
hell bridge.
I remember a
John.
lot of the film, but I don't remember anything
Okay.
the hell the starting hell
Okay,
bit.
a man, Nicolas Cage, escapes hell
Yes.
because his daughter is being murdered by a satanic cult, and
Yeah.
he is there to avenge his daughter and save his granddaughter from the murderous hands of the satanic cult because they want to kill the baby on the full moon.
Yeah.
And he is like, that's a no-no, so he escapes hell. And hell is meant to be this really badly CGI'd, big fiery zone
Yeah.
prison thing. And I believe the premise of this film is, as I said Nathan earlier, I believe this premise of the film, it on paper sounds really good.
Yeah.
or it could be a cool video game,
Yeah.
or it could be It could have been done very well, and what the route they took with it, it's not great.
It sounds good, but the execution is severely fucking
They
lacking.
had a massive budget as well. It was in the millions they spent on this film.
Was it?
50 million? Because I know they made 40 odd. They made 40.
50 million?
They spent 40 million. No, they spent 50 million ish making it. They only made back about 40 million.
Most of that must have gone to Nic Cage and Amber Heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was 2011, so Amber Heard was not a big. Neither. Oh, Nicolas Cage was, but I don't think Amber Heard was big at the time.
No, and I don't find her acting particularly great in this.
There are some scenes where it's not Amber Heard,
Really?
and I'm 100% convinced it's not Amber Heard. I'm convinced they've tried
Like
to
stunt scenes? or-
stunt scenes, and there was a scene in the car where it pans to them in the car. I'm convinced that it's like one of those facial changey things, you know, and to change the face, like
Oh, what's that called?
I noticed that it's more of a modern thing that is a 2011 thing, but
No, they were doing it better.
Yeah,
It was expensive though.
like, you know, when someone puts someone's face over another person.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
thinking
Yeah.
because it
Irishman.
doesn't look it doesn't look anything fucking like it. There is, funnily enough, in this movie which I feel in a movie this standard and this budget shouldn't really go into.
Yeah.
Do you know when a stunt scene lasts slightly too long and you can see the stunt double in the car?
Right.
This happens, and there's a scene where the car bursts through an explosion. There's fucking loads of explosions in this movie.
There's many an explosion.
Yeah, I can't
The
even.
car lands and the camera the cut stays too long on the driver. It's a man with blonde hair, but with Nicolas Cage has like a full beard going on type thing.
Yes, and this is like pre-hair plugs.
Yes.
So he's still balding.
The guy in the car. This Nicolas Cage's beard is like a light brown. This man's is like a fucking like hefty.
golden.
It's like hefty dark black. And
Nic Cage's.
No, but the stunt driver and they've given him like a fake mustache, like goatee beard thing,
Sure.
and you can tell it's not
It's
the
not
same.
Nic Cage.
It's too full. For
Yeah, because Nic Cage's hair is like dyed blonde in this.
Yes.
Like dirty blonde.
There was a thing. Sorry to jump in, but there was a thing that he originally wanted his head to be shaved and the full of it to be tattooed, but
Whoa.
they said no.
So is it?
Nicolas
is it-
Cage was like,
Yeah,
please shave my head.
they wanted to shave his head and they wanted he wanted like a fake tattoo on the top of his head and like his whole head tattooed.
I obviously didn't finish this film. Is it explained why he is in hell?
Mm-hmm.
You did crime.
Yeah, so they eventually meet up with, not to jump ahead, but they meet up with a guy who fixes a
Webster.
car, yeah. And Nicolas Cage goes back to people who he was working for type thing. And he wasn't meant to go back, I believe, or he didn't need to go back to go with them. And he went back and he killed them. And that's why he's in hell because he was a bad guy. He was like your
Okay.
typical like shoot 'em up,
Naughty man.
naughty man.
So yeah, he escapes hell, as Kieran has said, to save the daughter of his daughter.
His granddaughter.
But he is being pursued by the accountant.
Which I
Yeah.
think is the best role in this movie.
He is good.
He's great.
From
He's
what
so
I
good.
saw, like, he is a good character. And it's the kind of saving grace of this film,
Yeah.
is his scenes.
He's like this high level, like, underling of Satan's.
Like
He's Satan's hitman.
yeah, or
I wouldn't-
I'd say
yeah.
security guard is more of the thing, or
Yeah.
like or Satan's officer.
Yeah,
Mm.
basically, his job is to go out, find the escaped
Demons, souls,
prisoners. Yeah.
He has a coin, which is
It's a super coin.
his coin is like his deadly weapon. He just throws it and it just murders people. And some of the scenes where he murders people with it is
It's
Very
quite
good.
Two-Face, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes it murders people, sometimes it spares them. Because he flips the coin to some police officers and it turns into an FBI badge. And he says, "Oh, you're lucky today," or
Yeah.
something.
so it's
And
being
it
able
turns
to.
into an FBI.
So he gives them it gives them the opportunity to turn the FBI and become a good guy. Or I'm assuming if it landed on the other side, it would automatically murder the two of them.
I didn't think that was how it was going. I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was working to his will, and he was just like, I can trick these people,
Like
or
the
I
Doctor
can.
Who thing, where he throws these
Yeah, it's just
invisible pad.
a shade, you know. I don't know.
His whole character is the main point. with his movie that keeps it going, and it's quite enjoyable because he clearly, it's not like he's like determined to hunt down Nicolas Cage. He's kind of, it's like a fun thing for him. Specifically,
yeah, he takes joy in it, doesn't he?
Because closer to the end, you realise that it's less of a I need to do this rather than you. It becomes more of he goes to Nicolas Cage. You do your thing. We'll go back whatever happens. So it's just like he's kind of just along there for the ride because he quite enjoys it.
Right.
But apart from his side, I do think the Amber Heard role in this movie was more. It was less needed, but it was more just.
Well, I mean,
Sex appeal.
Yeah.
A lot of this film is just sex appeal.
Well, the best scene in this film involves
but like even a lot of Amber Heard scenes remind me of, is it Megan Fox
in Transformers?
Transformers, like short jean shorts. She's like bending over and stuff, and there's shots of that. Like it seems a shame that I don't know how much character she has. Obviously, she's
there
like,
for purpose at the end, but she's not really there for purpose throughout the film.
She's
mostly
there
along
just
for the
because
ride.
She has a car.
Yes,
right.
She has a
Nick
nice muscle car.
Yeah, and this film is full of cool cars and naked women.
Yes.
Like
There's a lot of it. It's like they got the green light from whatever company decided to produce it, and they were like, "Can we use naked women?" They're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "How many?" And they're like, "I don't know."
But not naked men.
No, there's no
Because,
single naked man.
There is the scene that you're talking about where there is Nic Cage has a shootout whilst he is having sex.
And the whole continuous shot is him moving around this room while continually
Whilst
having sex with another woman.
Inside a lady.
And they edit over like audio
Yeah,
that immediately after the scene ends is really not in character. It's really weird.
It's really fucked because the woman is traumatized by the shootout and like they've been having sex this whole time.
But the thing with that shot is they film it up to her the whole time. They add audio of her being like enjoying it. And and as soon as it's done and the last man has been killed by Amber Heard with like a hole in the head, she clearly, which is reasonable if you're having sex with a man and starts shooting and killing people. It's very traumatic scene, but it's just weird that they put in like it's where they kind of lose track of like in the middle of there's noise of him shooting, that's the gun going, there's the noise of man dying. It's between those 2 points and clearly the bullet's being shot as they put in audio of her like clearly meant to be enjoying herself.
She's like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yes.
But then
It's one of those weird decisions that were made in the editing room.
Yeah.
And it was like, why? Because they didn't have enough time to reshoot it in any way for them to have, the lady's reaction be more appropriate to what was edited.
Well, no, but you did, right? Even if you're doing it in post, you can just have that actress come in, any actress come in, and just scream.
Yeah.
Like
but then
that's
it
how you
comes.
do
No, I
it.
mean, as in they made the decision to have her enjoy it during the scene.
I guess.
In
Well,
post,
no,
and they
because
edit
they
that in.
film her traumatized after the fact.
That decision, they changed their minds in the editing room, is what I mean.
I don't know.
I guess they don't want to
Well,
show
because
her
they cut in all the audio of her enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
That
Post.
happened after that
Yeah.
scene. So they decided to edit in the stuff of her enjoying it
Yeah.
after they had filmed the stuff of her being traumatized.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
So the director changed their minds
Yeah,
and tried
but-
to play it up differently. It was
But
very
that's
weird.
strange because you already have the footage of her being traumatized at the
Yeah,
end.
I know.
And so-
I'm agreeing here.
Yeah, but there was a weird disconnect somewhere along the line there. But yes, they could have just kept in just like sort of very distressed, like screaming or whatever during.
Yeah, they
that
could have
scene.
gone with it, but they didn't. It was very
But,
weird.
Yeah, they tried to play it off as this. Maybe we're seeing an unreliable narrator, postmodernism type shit here with Nic Cage, how he sees the scene. But that doesn't even make sense because Nic Cage.
And I don't think they've done that at any point before that.
Yeah,
or
but
after.
Nic Cage is like he's an unsexual person, right? He doesn't care about that.
It was kind of weird that like he had sex in the film in the first place, right?
because it's introduced like. Also, first, like everyone wants to fuck Nic Cage in this film
Hell
for
yeah.
no apparent reason.
Hell
it's
yeah.
just the hellish vibe he gives off. It's just like an aura. It's just, they smell and they go, yeah, that
He
man.
gives off some sort of fucking pheromone where
Yeah.
everyone's just like, I want to fuck this guy, and he makes out with a with a waitress.
Yeah.
And then after that, the woman who has sex during the gunfight hits on him at the next bar. It's like there's no fucking like setup to his magnetism. It's just he is magnetic. But yeah, the whole scene with the gunfight sex scene is not established, and if it is a unreliable narrator that Nic Cage sees himself in this way, it's not established before this at all.
Or after.
It's worth noting that this movie was a nominee for 2 Razzie Awards.
Whatever those are.
The Razzies are like the
what?
opposite of the Oscars.
It's like the shit
Awards for worst.
He was
films.
nominated. Nicolas Cage was for worst actor and worst screen couple.
Was that Amber Heard and Nic Cage?
Nicolas Cage, but yeah.
Do they? I haven't seen it all.
No.
Do they? They
No.
don't. have
No,
a
she's a
connection?
stand-in for his daughter more than anything
I
else.
quite like that they don't make a romantic, because you would think a movie with this standard
Yeah,
would
they
make
would
them
try
romantic.
and have
Yeah.
a romantic
Whereas-
subplot.
But it does get to the point at the end where we'll get back to this point of the whole film. But there's a bit at the end where like he eventually, as you assume, will get his daughter, like his granddaughter back, gives her
Right.
to
Amber Heard was
Amber
like,
Heard.
she's yours now.
Wait,
Yeah.
hang on, wait. He gets his daughter back.
No, he gets his granddaughter back. Sorry.
Granddaughter,
Right.
daughter's daughter.
He gets the granddaughter back and he gives it to Amber Heard and he's like, well, this is your problem now. And she's like,
What?
she's like,
I'll raise her.
she's like, yeah, I'll raise her, don't worry, I will kill anyone that comes for her. And he's like, thank you.
Yeah, there's
And then
kind of
she
there's
leaves.
this weird kind of thing where it's like he says like, I chose you for this, and it's like this whole thing was premeditated.
Her whole, because she's meant to have nothing.
But he doesn't see her until he sees her car.
Yeah, so he automatically, he sees the car, sees the woman, goes, she'll raise my granddaughter.
But why?
Mm-hmm. He's just fresh out of hell. He's got nothing else to do.
She has convictions, right? She has standards because she worked when we
She
meet
has-
Amber Heard. She yeah, it's kind of fucked. Like the first time we meet Amber Heard in this film, she is saying how she has stopped having sex with her boyfriend because
Fiancé.
well,
now
boyfriend
fiancé,
at the time, because she wants him to propose to her.
Yes.
And so that's how we meet her, and then after that, she quits her job because the owner of the restaurant is touching her up in the workplace.
Yeah, that was fucked.
I understand that character. She quits her job,
Yeah,
completely fine, and then she goes back to her house, and her boyfriend is having sex with
Yeah.
someone.
another woman.
We don't know who she is. She's naked.
Yeah.
Like, of course, for this film. And so we meet Amber Heard, and her character at this point in our mind is someone who doesn't take shit, but does take shit to be with someone.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the point.
obviously, this guy is kind of a scumbag if she has to say, I'm not going to have sex with you for you
But
to...
she fights back with him. But I don't know if that's
Yeah,
like a
there's this
breaking point.
weird scene, and it's caught up in all this shit that's happened since, but her and the guy start beating each other up in the street. And it's not a fun scene, but it's also comically bad.
Yeah, you can see, if you look closely before the cut, you can see her fist not contact
Miss,
but go
and
past
then
his
you
face.
hear the impact,
Yeah.
like the post-production impact of...
My thought between that scene with Nicolas Cage is, maybe I'm reading into this more, but it's him being like, oh, this girl will fight back type thing. But I don't think that's what they were wanting. I think it's just like, oh yeah, this woman. But to talk up the film, yeah, they were being like, oh yeah, Nicolas Cage saw this girl standing up for herself and he believed that he could look after blah 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 blah. And she also has a nice car.
I think Amber Heard is worse than Nic Cage in this film, but I also think that Nic Cage is just kind of nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
He chose this movie. He wanted to be in this movie.
This is 2011.
Yes. So it wasn't when he was in debt though. This was like him
Yeah, but he was
wanting.
still kind of picking a lot of films.
Still career dive.
Yeah.
At this point.
There was a thing in this film that with Amber Heard that I believed is that there was 2 ways to write this film. There was and it generally conveys to the endings. There was ending 1 where Nicolas Cage passes on the baby and the baby goes off with someone else. Ending 2, which would have led to a sequel,
There is a sequel.
Is there a sequel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh,
Sorry.
I have to watch that.
There-
Or it's coming out.
Okay, there's a potential for a sequel, whereas Nicolas Cage ends up back in hell, but with the baby, and the baby is raised in hell. That I could work with. I could have worked with Nicolas Cage taking the baby and the accountant being like, "Look, I know we're going back to hell, but keep it and let Satan raise the baby. At least it's with you. You know where it is."
This is real strange.
Oh,
Right, so Drive Angry, the 3 preceding films to Drive Angry are Season of the Witch, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, we've watched,
Yes.
and Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass was, but
Kick-Ass was a hit.
yeah, but I don't think
But
it was
he-
meant
like,
to
he-
be a hit. I think it was.
The 3 preceding films to Drive Angry are Justice, never heard of it, Trespass,
Never heard of it.
and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
That was
The
sequel to
the
the first
sequel
one.
to Ghost Rider.
But I don't. So it was in the height of these films. Is this?
Well, this is like
They should bring
Nick
Nicolas Cage back
Cage's
for
like
Ghost Rider in the Marvel Cinematic
apex
Universe.
is late 80s, early 90s. After that, he wins his Oscar in I think 2001 is Leaving Las Vegas.
Yes.
Or maybe the year 2000. No, it's before that. Is it before? No, 1995 is Leaving Las Vegas when he earns his Oscar. After that, he has his like trilogy, which is Con Air, Face Off, and The Rock, which are his 3 biggest films. And then after that, things slowly begin to descend into Adaptation, which is a Charlie Kaufman film, is after that. And National Treasure of that. It's a weird fucking thing. His career fluctuates between these films that hit and don't hit. And Drive Angry seems to slot itself right in this little weird sweet spot, mid-sweet spot of Kick-Ass, which is a big film. I remember being younger when that came out, and
Yes.
everyone fucking loved it.
I like the first one. That's it.
And shit like the Ghost Rider sequel.
Yeah, the Ghost Rider sequel was not great either.
Who fucking knows?
But one thing I've gathered from Nicolas Cage doing these 20-odd fucking movies at this point in time
Yeah.
is that he does it movies less for publicity rather than for things he wants to do. So he reads the script and sees the story and goes, "Yes, I could do that."
From what I've heard in interviews, he says that he needs to keep working.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically a workaholic at this point, where if he's not working, he just feels fucking like he doesn't know what to do. So perhaps that has something to do with it.
I mean, isn't the mythos is that he just doesn't say no to films?
Kind of.
That's the mythos, yeah, but I'm sure there's stuff behind that. Like, he must have some sort of interest in the films he says yes to. It's not that he just has a film offered to him and he says no or yes, because there would be thousands of films surely that get thrown Nick Cage's.
I mean, there's only so many
yeah.
films he can do a year.
Yeah, but like you'd have like the fucking indiest of the indiest throwing films at Nick Cage and him saying yes. Sure, there's some examples of that working out, like Pig and fucking Color Out of Space or Mandy, but those still, I think, are directors who have had a couple of short films and stuff beforehand. I don't know.
I think it needs to be mentioned for this film. This film was also shot in 3D.
Why?
It's in that sweet spot of 3D technology coming out
When
because
DVDs
Avatar
used to come in, like when you bought a DVD, it came specifically with 3D glasses.
Avatar,
Shrek was one
stereoscopic 3D.
Avatar's 2009, 2010,
Yeah.
something around then, and then everyone starts doing 3D.
Yep.
After that.
It makes a lot of the shots feel more sense when you think about it shot in 3D, because there's a lot of scenes where it slows down. You see the bullet coming toward the really badly CGI'd shot coming towards the screen, or there's a explosion. Let's see again another CGI shot, in your face type thing, which is meant to be in 3D if you see it coming on the screen. If you watch it without 3D, you're a bit like, that shit.
Has anyone seen Avatar 2?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it worth the 12-year wait?
No. It's it's a good film. It didn't have to be Avatar to be good.
What?
And the fact that the sequel is really weird.
Does it have the same characters?
Yeah, there's a continuation, a direct continuation of the main character and the antagonist.
Yeah.
Jake Sully.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said this before, but my whole thing with Avatar is it's one of those things that was created for a time that was meant to be a big hit.
Oh, so there's a Jesus narrative now.
Fuck, lovely.
Of course.
You know how a film is made to progress something, or something is made to progress something? So the Avatar is meant to progress the whole CGI world, and it was the reason it was big was because CGI was like, holy fuck, we've never seen this before. You make another one 10 years, 15 years down the line,
Yeah.
and you're in the point where you're like, this
Well,
has been
that's-
done by Marvel for.
Well, no.
That's the thing about
Avatar
making...
2 is still, it's extremely technically impressive, right?
True.
Mostly because its budget is massive.
But that's the
And
thing
also-
about making the most successful film of all time
Yeah.
with Avatar is that
You get
you're
money.
gonna need to make 7 sequels. to
Yes.
Avatar.
But also the film was very successful.
Avatar
Bang,
2.
bang.
Yeah.
Was it?
Where does it land in the ranking?
I think Avatar 1 made so much money because it was one of those things where you walk away and be like, holy fuck,
I'm gonna
have
watch
you
it again.
seen this before?
It's a weird fucking blip, isn't it? I had to see it 3 fucking times, and
Yeah.
that's why I hate that film.
Yeah,
I had
like-
to see it 3 times within
Yeah,
like
it's
a week
third.
Avatar with the what? Yeah, it is,
It's
yeah,
third.
fucking hell. Okay.
of all time.
James Cameron
Not
is...
adjusted to inflation, because if you adjust the rankings to inflation, the list gets fucked up a lot.
James Cameron
Oh,
is
I don't know,
laughing
man.
in bed at night, just being like,
James Cameron dreamed up Terminator. He had a dream where he was being chased around his kitchen by a robot, and he was like Terminator. So
hell.
I
fuck
think
James.
it's pretty good in that it's not. It's 500 million behind Avengers Endgame.
Mm.
It's ahead of the first of the new trilogy of Star Wars, which came out 2015.
When people still had hope for Star Wars.
Yeah, Infinity War, which came out in 2018, it beat. So like it is beating like this roughly the same 5-year period films.
Hmm.
So
Well, yeah,
it was it's
considering
successful.
that the Avengers Endgame is one of the biggest cinematic
And one of the most
events to
expensive,
happen, like ever. Like it's all built up to that point.
Yeah, it did okay.
But anyway,
If you want to see...
It's weird it did okay. Everyone thought it would do worse.
Avatar 2.
If you want to see a movie that's CGI similar to Avatar, watch this film because there's a scene, beautiful scene, where the accountant drives a hydrogen tank car.
What's the song?
It's some Meatloaf song, something. I want to say.
Wasn't it Staying
It is
Alive?
Meatloaf. Is it
No,
not
it's
Stay
not
Alive?
Staying
No, that's the
Alive.
last song. There's a song that
No,
he dri-
that's Alive by someone else.
Oh, well, he drives. Basically, Nicolas Cage and Amber Heard are stopped by police in this massive fucking
Blockade.
Yeah.
blockade. And the accountant is at this point in time wants Nicolas Cage to finish his mission, which we'll get to why.
Wait, so the accountant now switches his prerogative?
Kind of, yes. Not really, but
He's chasing Nicolas Cage to bring him back to hell.
he's
And
wanting
over
to-
time, he realizes who Nicolas Cage is fighting, which is the Satan worshipping cult.
Right.
But like, there's a line where
But
he's
he works for Satan.
There's
right.
there's a very
they
nice...
may worship Satan, but Satan doesn't approve of their worship.
Yeah, there's a
or
nice,
their method of
there's a-
worship.
There's a nice line in it that he says, and he talks to Nicolas Cage, and he's mentioned Amber Heard as well. I think she's down the scene,
Yeah.
and he's like, so the cultists want to kill this baby as a worship to Satan, and the accountant is basically says along the lines that, well, Satan will take sacrifices. He has this thing against killing children and babies. So he's like, yeah, fuck these guys.
But he's Satan.
Yeah, but Satan has
He's
a
not
limit
the same Satan.
that we all think of.
Yeah, the film basically says, oh yeah, Satan's basically a prison warden.
Yes, Satan has a thing. He's like
He doesn't have like all the same values or
like in a way he's not a nice man, but he has his morals. He's not gonna. He doesn't want you to. If you kill children for him, then something bad's gonna. He doesn't care what happens to you. You're a bad guy.
well, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, surely so does Satan hate his job?
No, like he's just. I think he likes taking. I think the whole point is that
I mean, it's not.
Do we meet Satan?
No. I think
It's not clear. Everything is said is like telephone through the accountant.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the destroying the Satan worshipping cult that murders babies and murders people
So Satan,
aligns with the values of the accountant at least enough that the accountant is like, I'll let it happen.
but Satan is not all-knowing. So he doesn't know that this devil worshipping cult is killing babies before he sends the
No.
accountant out.
no,
I don't know.
I think it's meant to be played that the accountant is literally just there for Nicolas Cage. And
Yeah, he basically Nicolas Cage escaped, and they sent the accountant after him to bring him back.
I think that the accountant is more Nic Cage in this film than Nic Cage is.
yeah.
Like in his themes. Like he's sort of irreverent and like sort of like just jamming out to tunes,
Yeah,
especially in the
Yeah,
senior
because
scene.
he thinks of himself as untouchable, and he essentially is.
Because he knows he'll get away with it.
I think Nic Cage needs a bit more of that in this film. It'd be good to play off each other. Nic Cage is a bit fucking serious.
Yeah,
in this film.
he's very standoffish in the film, and the accountant tries to play off him, especially with the scene I'm about to talk about, is that when he's driving the car, there's music playing, you can see him like jamming out the music, not giving a fuck.
The accountant. Yeah.
The only thing that can stop the accountant is a gun that Nicolas Cage stole at the beginning, which we should have probably
They
mentioned.
call it the God Killer.
Yeah, which is a gun that will erase
Very
you
powerful
from,
bullets with Latin carved into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll erase you from everything, so you'll neither go to hell or heaven. You'll just evaporate basically, and that's the reason that the accountant is basically not one step behind, but well, he kind of is.
Yeah,
He's
no,
just
there's like a
before him.
confrontation earlier in the film where he shoots that weird gun at him, and like for the first time, the
On the
accountant
bridge,
realizes
which
that
lasts 12 miles.
yes,
Yeah, I went to
The
the bathroom, came
accountant
back, and the trace was
realizes
still going on.
that Nicolas Cage's character has stolen a gun that can harm him because he's invulnerable otherwise, right?
Yeah, he's very
He
cocky
falls off the
before
bridge
this.
and he just gets up,
Yeah.
right? He's untouchable except for this weapon. So his character takes a distance.
Yes.
So he's immediately like, oh shit, I'm gonna let this play out a bit more till I get my opportunity.
The accountant kind of says at the kind of near the end that he realizes this is going to play out in his favor, whether Nicolas Cage likes it or
Yeah,
not.
yeah. He basically takes a step back. He's no longer relentlessly pursuing. He's more observing.
Yeah.
And during his observation, he comes to realize that like, hey, maybe
Things
we
aren't what I thought it was.
oh, no, maybe it'll be a win-win kind of thing. Because if he gets rid of this cult that they don't really like,
Who's
these
killing
people are all
babies.
going to hell anyway, so what if they get sent a bit sooner, basically? And either way, Nicolas Cage goes back to hell.
Yeah,
Mm.
and if
Win
he-
or lose.
And if Nicolas Cage doesn't kill the Satanist, Nicolas Cage still ends up in hell, but the Satanist will at some point still end up in hell as well.
So he stands back from the whole
Yes.
situation.
He just takes a step back. He helps them a little on his way,
He
but
does.
mostly he's just like, this is your fight,
This
I'll let you
seems
fight it.
like the most interesting character in the whole thing.
I think
It's
he
this
is.
accounting character.
Well, mostly
William
because
Fichtner.
he is, on his own, he's uninteresting. But he represents quite an interesting...
Character arc and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the turning point for him is the hydrogen car scene where
Yeah, the hydrogen tanker, where we showed you the video.
Yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, he's
scene.
just like jamming
Yeah.
on the radio while driving this big
It's
tanker of
comedic,
explosive
but
gas.
it's also very well done. And like he picks up a car in his crash course thing, and he steps out of it, and the hydrogen bomb
Rolls
continues
over.
on and rolls, and Nic Cage drives under it. But yeah.
and he at the end when they get to the prison that the Satanists have taken over, he take Amber Heard out of the equation by taking her hostage slightly.
Right.
But it's not like he's there to kill her. He does threaten to kill her, but it's more of just letting Nicolas Cage have one option where he like can surrender himself now, or he can surrender himself after he's done his deeds.
Mm.
And so it kind of takes, which is quite nice, because it takes Amber Heard out of the spotlight and puts her onto the side, which Nicolas Cage's character get his kind of revenge.
Do donuts around
Yeah.
like a dozen people, some of them fully naked, just shooting at him.
Yeah, I said Nathan. That was like, I guess one.
I
of the,
wouldn't believe this.
it's one of the scenes where he drives through like the wall of the prison, like on a ramp, breaks through and just goes around shotgunning people.
Well on fire.
Well
the whole
on
car's
fire.
on fire.
That's Ghost Rider
And-
right there.
Yeah.
It's like one of the scenes in the film. It's like they've asked, can we put naked people in, and they're like, sure.
Only woman.
Only women, and they're
Only
like, sure, and they're like,
no-
so they make
no penis,
every single
only
woman
boobies.
in this courtyard scene.
Not every single one. I thought it was fair. There was like one or two, but like there was,
Only a couple.
Like there was one
right.
that
If
does
they were
get
all
shot.
if they were all naked, nah. But like at least in these two ladies, they it's optional. I guess is what I mean. So there are ladies that
Optional
aren't
nudity.
fully naked.
There's
in
settings in the
in the
DVD
setting.
menu. Where you can like nudity or no nudity.
That's not what I'm trying to say.
No nudity. When he's having sex whilst the gunfight happens, she's got a brown. It's all tasteful.
It's drawn on with marker pen.
Well, anything else to add about this?
Yes.
Fucking
There
film.
was a woman who works for the satanic cult that the leader at the very end scene. She's been there throughout, basically being the carer of this baby.
Yeah, she's the one holding the baby.
And-
She's the one keeping the baby
I saw her
down.
in the
Yeah.
scene where Jonah, is that his name? Jonah.
Yeah, it's the bad guy.
He kills the leather jacket man, and he kills in quotations
Nicolas
Nick Cage. I take it he comes back.
He gets out.
Yeah, because he's
Dead.
already dead.
And then he gets like a cool demon eye.
But yeah, there's that woman in that scene where she's huddling the baby.
The Babel, yeah.
So
The Babel baby.
At the end, she's huddling the baby because Nicolas Cage has been shooting and he's fighting with the main bad guy. And the accountant eventually goes over to her and takes the baby off her and kind of gives her this moment where instead of giving her the baby back because she's like cowering, goes, would you let that happen? Like, would you let the baby die? And she doesn't say anything. She kind of pauses, and the accountant kind of goes, "I thought so." So just walks away with the baby and gives Nicolas Cage because he knows that this woman isn't going to say, because even though she acts like she's going to like take care of this baby, at the end of the day she knows that she would have let the bad guy kill her.
So what? Yeah, right.
Really?
So the
I
film.
thought it was the other way around.
Well, no, because
That he wouldn't. The lady in the end wouldn't have allowed the baby to be.
no, I
alive.
thought she would have, because the fact that she doesn't say anything because he gives her the opportunity to be like, no, I would have saved this baby, and he looks at her and she just stands there and like realizes. I guess she takes that point in herself where she realizes that she would have let the baby die, and he sees that and he's like, well, okay, I'm not giving you the fucking baby then, fuck you, and takes the baby and gives it to Nicolas Cage. Whereas if she'd been like, no, I would have said that he probably would have not given her the baby back, but at least like just been like, bless you, child, and then let her go on her business.
Nah,
I
I
mean,
thought that
does
scene
that
was ambiguous enough that it kind of was at least. I don't know. I felt like she spends enough time like hesitating in terms of giving the baby to him,
Yeah.
because there is a scene where he's like, "Give me the child," because he also instructs her to, if this kicks off, to kill the baby.
Yeah, because
which she does not do.
No, I think there's a part
She throws the knife down basically.
I think
So
there's-
either she's already made her decision not to harm the baby.
I thought there's a part of her that's like, not. I think there's a part of her in her that she doesn't know what she's going to do, and that's why she's not giving back the baby. It's just they can tell she's confused.
Yeah, there's enough hesitation that I think that she might have been like, in the end she wouldn't have done it.
Oh, I don't think she would have done it, but I think that.
Well, I mean, she didn't do it,
Yeah.
and I don't think she would have allowed it to happen.
The right
basically.
call was not to give her back the baby because there was a slight hesitation in her like just demeanor.
I mean, it's also not her baby.
It's also not her baby, yeah. It's Nicolas Cage's, but he also gives it to Amber Heard, who's also not her baby.
Nicolas Cage's. Nicolas Cage's
Granddaughter,
child.
yeah, grand-
baby.
Yeah, you know.
Is there fuck, what was I gonna say? I've forgotten. Fuck me.
Why did we deign to record this after spending so many hours recording sketches?
It's worth to be noted that the main bad guy does die by the God Killer, and but I quite enjoyed the film. That's what I'm going into. But there was a man. The main bad guy was also killed by the God Killer gun, but there was also a man before him that got killed by the God Killer.
He was like one of the driver for
And-
this cult.
And he got shot through an RV, and his death is quite big, but not then like spectacular. And it's not until the main bad guy dies, it's this big scene, his body like deteriorates, and there's
A
like
black hole appears
and, yeah.
behind him, all his skin is
And I'm
pulled
like-
off, all his muscles moved off.
You're lying.
He
No.
bloody explodes,
No.
and then his skull lands
yeah.
on the ground. And there's a line that said, "I won't be happy till I've drunk. I won't drink anything until I've drunk from this guy's skull." And in the epilogue, he's
Because
just
Cage-
drinking.
beer
is-
from a man's skull. He
This
pours
is
a beer
Deadly
into it.
Premonition.
What?
Game. Deadly Premonition.
Probably.
And then Nicolas Cage is pouring beer into this man's skull as he's talking to the accountant just friendly, and he's sipping from this man's skull. But the point
And then
is-
there's a moment where he's like, "Am I going to throw this away?"
and he puts it in his
into
pocket.
jacket.
He's like,
I might
he's
need
like,
this.
he's like, I'll go back to hell, so I'll chuck this, I'll keep it. He goes, I'll keep it. Puts it in his pocket. What I was saying is that if you're going to make the God Killer have the same death for everyone, even though it's a side character, and I know you don't want to ruin the big death of the main bad guy,
Yeah.
you've got to keep them similar. I know he's hidden behind a RV, but it would have still done the same effect as the main bad guy. You should still give them the same kind of like big black hole, whereas the first guy just kind of goes, "Oh, he's shot, he's dead, bang."
He
The
blew,
second-
he didn't.
yeah.
It was a bit more than
There was a
that.
bit more than that, but there was like it wasn't the same like in-depth long death that the bad guy
Yeah,
had.
but that's because it was gratuitous, and it would have been.
I don't know.
It would have reduced the value of the scene if you'd done it, if you've
yeah,
teased
but I feel
it.
like you've lost the purpose of the gun then, because like, it's like, oh, the gun only really works mainly when the bad guy's killed, like the main bad guy's killed.
I mean,
It's just be me being picky with this film,
Yes.
that's all. But the ending of this film is pretty fun and funny because it's Nicolas Cage and the accountant kind of having this friendly banter. Amber Heard's just fucked off with this baby at this point in time, and Nicolas Cage is like, well, fuck that baby, she's fine.
there's a really weird
Yeah.
bit where like his old like partner in crime and Amber Heard are just like kind of cuddled around the baby, and it's like, what's this guy doing?
Mm-hmm.
Is he moving in on Amber Heard, who's like a quarter of his age?
When does this guy get introduced?
Maybe an hour into the film.
After Nicolas Cage dies, gets up, and they do like this long fight against the
It's a car chase.
a long car chase against the cult, and that which ends in the car being destroyed. And he's like, "I'll call a guy
That's
I know."
why they have a new car later.
Yeah,
on.
Yeah,
right.
he's
Another
like the
new
mechanic,
cool car.
and then at the end of the film, he drives up in the fixed car
Yeah.
from the intro, from the rest of the film.
Fucking used because Nicolas Cage is like he's drank from the skull of the bad guy. He's ready to move on with life.
And they are a
Sorry,
portal
Nic
to hell.
Cage
Open.
drinks from his skull.
Yeah. Not the accountant, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it's the bad guy. He wanted to drink. He was the guy that killed his daughter. He wanted to drink from his skull, so he drank beer
Yeah.
from his
What
skull.
the fuck is going on?
This is why you finished the film.
And then the accountant's like, right, we should go back to hell now. And he spawns this very nice
A
car.
portal opens, and and a fucking
and Nicolas Cage drives
like an
them-
El Camino or something.
Yeah,
It's
Nicolas
so
Cage
fun.
drives the two of them back to hell, and he's like, oh, if
over the fucking Hell Brooklyn Bridge,
if,
man.
Yeah, if Satan puts me back in the hole, I'll escape
I'll
again.
break out again,
And the accountant's like, yeah, I'll enjoy that.
and then
it's
I'll
like-
come get
it's
you.
like a
And they're
friendly
like
back.
friends.
And then they drive off to hell again, and then fucking what's his face?
So Nick Cage is gone after this.
Nicolas Cage is back in hell.
yeah, you go
Him
back
and
to
the- Him
hell.
and the accountant have drove back to hell.
Do we meet Satan?
No,
No, it just
Satan's not a character in it.
when they're
Trash.
when they're driving over the bridge to hell, the bridge starts breaking up and fucking Meatloaf starts singing.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
There was a possibility for a sequel, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember.
I mean,
I googled this film.
Death
and
isn't
it's
the
always
end in these films.
Drive Angry 2 that comes up. But yeah, I feel like we've covered it.
I feel like Drive Angry 2 isn't coming. To be
What
honest.
we'll do is we'll take a little break here and we'll come back with our
top 10.
top 10 of 20 odd films. We'll have a list
Okay.
of our top 10 as we did at the end of season 1. See you soon.
Fuck yeah.
Sorry, I think I bumped your phone.
Welcome back to Nicolas Cage International Treasure. No time has passed for you, but at least 45 minutes has passed for us. We are currently ranking our top 10 films out of the 22 we've watched. I will now list out the 22 films we've watched for anyone just tuning in. You'll be able to see by the list above you on whatever streaming platform you're using, but I will list them out anyway. The films we have watched list as Gone in 60 Seconds, Lord of War, G-Force, The Ant-Billy, Guarding Tess, Kill Chain, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, Never on Tuesday, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Face Off, 8mm, Pay the Ghost, Leaving Las Vegas, Knowing, A Christmas Carol the Movie, The Croods, A New Age, Amos and Andrew, Grand Isle, Arsenal, Inconceivable, The Frozen Ground, and Drive Angry, the episode you're listening to right now. Right, we shall now return to our top 10 of these 22 films. John, would you like to give us your number 10 of this list in a BuzzFeed article kind of way?
Grendel.
Grendel?
Grand Isle.
Grand Isle. Why have you put this at number 10, John?
Because there were 9 films I liked more than it, and I didn't like any of the others as much.
Very good. Would you like to remind the audience of what Grand Isle was?
No, I wouldn't.
Do you remember what Grand Isle side of?
Yeah, it was the weird one about the Nicolas Cage plays a war vet
Yeah.
whose wife is certifiably insane, and there's this guy that's like a contract worker trying to fix their fence
They want
who gets
them
trapped
babies.
with them.
They want to produce
Babies.
children because they can't have children,
Yes.
and so they have a weird basement where they fill it with people.
Yes.
Kieran, you're number 10.
Frozen Ground.
That's my number 10 as well.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Boy, you're
As
saying
in-
we could have colluded on this?
No,
We didn't collude.
We didn't collude at all.
Frozen Ground, as much as I don't like true crime,
I'm a
I
slut
think
for
this
true
film
crime.
fits well at number 10.
Yeah,
It's
I-
a good film, but it doesn't fit my...
Remember, there is
genre.
no ethical true crime film.
As we discussed in our last episode.
Right, John, number 9.
Wait, Kieran, why did you put this at number 10?
Because I enjoy true crime, and I thought that while it was not,
Not that much.
well, no, there's 12 films above this, right?
12?
Well, it's 20 out of 22.
You've got 12 films on your list?
No,
you
there's
ranked all
I've
22.
I've ranked all 22.
You're only supposed to rank your top 10 of 22.
You have
So
read
it's just
number
the
10.
top
Oh, no,
10.
that's good that he's ranking all of them.
Yeah, I've ranked all of them.
That's good that he's got... I
I'm-
might do this after we finish.
I've done. I've ranked all. I thought that's what we're doing. Sorry.
I'm
We'll
looking
do a
forward to
full-
not having to do this and us having a better system in
It'll be a
place.
full 2-part episode, our full ranking of every
I'm sure
single
you're
one.
looking forward to reciting every single film
you've
you've done
done
at
that.
over 100.
Okay, well, while those two will rank the top 10 of 22, I will rank all 22 films.
No, but to be
We
clear,
won't.
this is Kieran's number 10 of the 22.
Yeah, this is right. I'll do it off rank. Okay,
We're just doing 10 today, but at the end of it all, we will
No,
do
but this is
every
my
single
10
film.
out of the 22.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, sorry.
That's what we're all... Yeah, but cool. Number 9, John.
The knowing.
Knowing.
Again,
Why number 9 for knowing?
I had to fill a slot. I only really liked 5 films. And I was like, I didn't like knowing very much, but I just liked everything else quite a bit more.
Okay. Kieran, number 9.
Amos and Andrew.
Number 9?
Yeah.
Why number 9 for Amos and Andrew?
Because while I found it comedically funny and enjoyable, I don't think there was much towards it. It was better than the shit films, but I think it was just a fun comedy. I don't think there was much to it. It was just like a thing that was there. And it's like Grown Ups. It's not much towards it, but it's comedically funny, and I would go watch it again.
Entertains
It
you.
was entertaining, yes.
For me, number 9, I have The Croods, A New Age.
Oh.
Because for similar reasons, I thought it was just entertainment. I thought it was good. It passed the time. I think there was fun shit in there. It was good animation. It wasn't sloppy animation.
No, it was fun.
I thought it was good.
It made me rewatch the first film and realize how much better the second one was.
I've never watched the first one.
That doesn't usually happen.
Number 8, John.
Numero... Spanish word for 8. The Croods 2.
Oh.
Okay. Why The Croods 2 at number 8 for you?
All the reasons you said, and also they did some fun things with animation at points that I hadn't really seen in other things.
Yeah.
Like there's this really good scene where the daughter and I think it's the mum and the dad are getting into like a fight,
Yeah.
and their faces kind of skew morph into like
I do not remember that.
into like I don't know, you know, their brows elongate, their chins go.
Oh yeah, no, I do remember.
Yeah,
that.
and they look like more typical
like
caricatures of
Neanderthal.
Neanderthals.
Yeah.
So, but like it was just such a fluid motion.
Yeah.
And it was like
It's
that was really
done very
funny
well
to me,
in
and
the
it stood
animation.
out. And
Our The Croods 2 episode is a few episodes before. You'll find Jordan on that episode. Jordan did not watch the film. So
we're really good at that.
Our guests are good, but we love Jordan. Kieran, you're number 8.
Guarding Tess.
Guarding Tess. Why number 8 for Guarding Tess?
Because, again, similar to the last one, there was comedic value, but I remember Guarding Tess more than I do Amos and Andrew. I think the storyline to Guarding Tess was very funny. I think it was a role that I haven't seen Nicolas Cage in before, where he plays a semi-serial character, but there's also a comedic factor, and there's also an opposite. The person opposite him is just the complete opposite. I guess you could say the same with Face Off, and it's like two opposing factors, but it's a comedic thing.
Yeah.
My only problem with the film is that I do believe the premise of the film lasts 20 minutes compared to the whole film, but apart from that, it's a very well done film, and I think it's something, again, that I recommend to people after watching it.
Yeah. Guarding Tess is a
I told my
good
mum
movie.
to watch it.
Guarding Tess, yeah, it's the kind of film that parents would enjoy.
Yeah.
Guarding Tess is the episode that me and Daniel, who you haven't heard in weeks, did by ourselves. That was just us two.
That would be a disaster.
So yeah, my number 8 is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I kind of put it here just because I did enjoy the film, but Nic Cage doesn't appear as much. I think it's probably in a similar place to my previous top 10. But yeah, Fast Times at Ridgemont High at number 8. John, number 7.
7, John.
Face Off.
At 7?
It's not great. It's not good.
Oh, I disagree.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of wackiness,
A little
which is
bit.
what made the list.
What
but
makes
it-
this worse, right? No offense, John, but even Nicolas Cage in 2023 still says he would love to do Face Off 2.
No sequel to Face
Face Off 2, 4 faces.
No, but because his reasoning, because he
Two
got
Face, Two Furious.
small little background. So I won't take this too long. He got awarded with some lifetime award at some Miami Film Festival, and in the interview after, he was talking about Face Off, and he was saying he would do Face Off 2 because he likes John Travolta, and also he thinks that there's potential for Face Off 2 where he is also John Travolta again. John Travolta is him, but there's also kids involved, and the kids are swap places.
No,
It's just a- it's a
big lot of
It's
faces.
too much.
He
Face
likes
Off is perfectly.
And
captured
any
as
movie
Lewis
Nicolas
Jones.
Cage is happy with, I believe we should be happy with because he wants to do it.
I feel like this is almost selection bias because, like, suggest a sequel to most of the films he'd done. He'd be like, yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
He would probably do it.
Yeah.
Alright, is this 7?
Yep, you're number 7.
Knowing.
Knowing.
It brings childhood factors into it. I've seen it when I was younger.
Yeah,
There's
I know what you mean.
There's a bit of
There's
nostalgia in it.
too.
Childhood trauma, more like.
Well,
That film was really creepy as a kid.
I hate the ending. The ending is, I think, one of the worst films Nicolas Cage has ever done.
yeah, I mean, we were discussing it
Just
when
pass-
we did the
it-
episode.
He
and there's,
just passes his kids off to some aliens and he goes, okay, bye.
there is some like
Yeah,
but there's some
horrifying.
like intertextual shit with like angels / aliens going on that we only realized when we were discussing it. But like, yeah, I do agree. That
Only
I think,
reason this is number 7 is because of childhood, like,
yeah.
reasoning, and everything before it was slightly mediocre towards it.
Yeah, like it's a mid-tier apocalypse film.
Yes,
Mhm.
what's your
My 7 is Guarding Tess, which was your number 8, Kieran. I enjoy that film. I think there's some really good cinematography in it. There's a really good scene where the ex-first lady falls asleep on the lake by a tree, and I feel like that shot, like it could be a painting. That shot is really fucking well done. I really enjoy the chemistry between Nic Cage and the woman who plays the First Lady. Can't remember her name right now. I'm sorry, but I also think that the last 20 minutes, as you're saying, is like the crux of the film, or at least that's what it was advertised as, and I feel like it shouldn't have, because the whole film is about this relationship between Nic Cage and the ex-First Lady.
Yeah.
And that could have been, like, you don't have to project, like, advertise your film, project your advertising as the drama, because the drama is in the relationship between these two characters, and I think it appeared at a time where maybe if it had been 5-10 years later, could have done better. But yeah, that's my number 7. John, your number 6.
Numero that. Inconceivable.
Okay, why inconceivable?
Which I now think about it should be lower down the list.
Just quite at 22. It's 19 on
Yeah.
mine.
Well, I thought
It's
it
not
had,
even on my top 10.
It had it made me feel quite anxious about the film. Like, it made me feel quite anxious. And given the whole premise of the film, I think it was quite that was intentional and quite effective.
I'm sorry.
Made you feel anxious. Don't worry about that, Kieran. What are you on?
Well, like films will make you want to.
Yeah, you enjoy the film. You enjoy the film.
Shut the hell up, alright?
Kieran doesn't
I agree.
appreciate this choice.
You know what?
At
It
number
should be like
6.
15 now that you mention it. It made it. I don't know. Shut up.
John didn't care as he was making this list.
I was being hurried, man. I just didn't get a third look.
The only reason why it's 19 on mine is because 22 till about 17 are all classic.
Inconceivable, if you don't remember, is the film in which a surrogate mother tracks down the children of her surrogacy and kills the parents to adopt them.
Aha, everyone. Twas a jape. A trick.
Sure. Nick Cage is barely in this film. He just plays the kind of asshole father.
He's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Nicolas Cage. That's what I like about it. He's the most Nicolas Cage Cage.
He's not the most Nicolas Cage in this
I mean,
film.
no, he's like the number 6th most Nicolas Cage.
He's
Nicolas
not
Cage.
even the most number 6 Nicolas Cage. Kieran, you're number 6, please.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Why leaving Las Vegas? Why leaving Las Vegas number 6?
Yeah, you.
That's
yeah.
his Oscar-winning performance.
Oh, I thought
I
it
don't
was.
give a shit.
I was gonna say way worse than that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like
That's your
it.
John's opinion, Joko.
Well, his whole thing. I mean, yeah.
Okay,
it
so
went
the
to
first
Oscar because it's.
inconceivable at number 6. Why do you think leaving Las Vegas?
All right,
is
look,
worse
I've
than that?
already japed. Inconceivable is not number 6. I just forgot about it. That was there, and also leaving Las Vegas. Look, it was Oscar bait. One.
No.
Yes.
It's not Oscar.
Yeah, it is. Like the deep personal suffering.
I don't think it's portrayed as Oscar bait though.
No.
Like Oscar, I don't know. Maybe. I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, it's the kind of film that gets an Oscar.
Yeah.
And those are always a particular kind of film, right?
True. The emotional scenes are hyped up.
I'm going to contradict myself.
But I do like his performance in it.
I mean, yeah, he's entertaining, but it's not top 10. He's just kind of drunkenly traipsing around. It's not particularly funny. It's kind of just tragic.
Oh no!
It doesn't have to
10.
be funny to be a good performance. A Nicolas Cage performance.
I know, but I mean, I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't enjoy Nick Cage's performance in Leaving Las Vegas. You didn't enjoy We Don't Kick the Bar, We Lean Into the Bar. You didn't enjoy any of that.
No, he liked Inconceivable. That's what
He did like Inconceivable. He did.
That's what he's talking about.
If I'm allowed to be wrong, you're allowed to be wrong.
Stayed on your record,
His number
John.
one's
I feel
Christmas
like
Carol.
you're pushing back because of your inconceivable.
I was against this particular part of it.
Yeah, this is BuzzFeed, but
I
fuck
hate
it.
this.
Right. Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good film. It was enjoyable, and he did a great performance in it, and he put his heart and soul into it. It's not why I'm looking for Nicolas Cage in. It's not why I want Nicolas Cage to be in, and I guess that's selfish. And like, you should allow actors to do their best and go for their best. I couldn't give a shit. I don't want Nicolas Cage in a serious role.
You want mad Nicolas
I want
Cage.
mad Nicolas Cage.
You're gonna be happy for
Wait, I got all sorts of shit
Season
for
2.
saying basically the same thing.
No, fuck you.
And Kieran was like, yeah,
John,
and you were like, yes, yeah,
inconceivable.
okay, fair enough. Shut up.
Because you said Inconceivable is sex.
Right,
My number 6.
things slip through the cracks, okay?
Wait a minute. G-Force is going to be number 1.
My number 6 is Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
That's a good film.
I like it. I
Yeah.
think I've grown on it over time. It
It's-
was our very first film, and I think I remember us ranking these in the top 10 in our first top 10, and people putting Gone in 60 Seconds quite high, and I was like, yeah, like, to be honest, if I was like shit faced or I was hungover and I was like, I want a film to just like tune out to,
Yeah.
Gone in 60 Seconds would probably be it. It does its job. It's a Fast and Furious before the Fast and Furious franchise.
It's the original
and
Fast and Furious, and it's the predecessor to it.
absolutely. I think it's well made. It doesn't have many problems, and Nick Cage plays his role well. Agreed.
This is why you're wrong.
5, John.
Number 5, John. What do you want? Come on, is it fucking Grand Isle? Is it fucking? You already had that on your list. Number 5.
Starting tests. I thought
Okay,
it was
that's
quite
fine.
nice.
You
They
like
had
it.
a good rapport with each
You
other.
weren't even on the episode. You want to talk a bit
I
about
watched the
Guarding
fucking
Tess?
film though.
You want to talk a bit about it? Because you didn't even talk about it when we did our last rankings.
No.
Was it even in the first one?
I don't
Yeah.
know. No, you didn't do a rankings last time. You just
No.
called out the numbers.
Yeah, because
Yeah. Okay,
For-
John. What do you
I
think?
forgot.
What did you think about the film?
Well, they had a good relationship, like in the role. I do like the kind of bickering they did.
It's
It
like
was-
an old married couple.
I mean, not
almost.
really. It's like, I mean, he works ostensibly for her, but like, and so it's kind of like just arguing with your boss, but your boss is so like petty they won't fire you.
But she's petty for the reason that she's dying.
Sure, whatever. But like, it's just good, right? And like the character progression's good. Like, you know, the characters kind of learn more about each other, and sort of like there's a mutual respect that's built over time. And it's very funny that this is all happening on the end of his first term as her secrets, you know? Which kind of tells me that like they really didn't, you know, like it was all routine, but it wasn't. They never really interacted in the same way, if that makes sense. All of this, it's all told after.
He's stuck in this like wanting promotions
Yeah.
kind of thing, but he's been stuck at this level of guarding the ex-first lady, and he
Of,
wants
like,
to go
4
further. but
presidents
yeah,
back,
yeah,
yeah.
he can't like go further because of that, and the current president is beholden to the ex-first lady, so he's stuck there because he's guarding the ex-first lady
Yeah.
because of these political reasons.
It's good. I like it. He has his own resentment. She has her resentments, and they work it out in the end, and it's good.
It is good. I agree with you there.
Fuck you.
Well done.
Kieran, number 5.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Why Fast Times at Ridgemont High at number 5?
Because it's my equivalent to
Over. What did you have before this?
Leaving Las Vegas. It's
Why number
my
5?
equivalent to Breakfast Club. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, similar time made. Like it
Yes.
was made in a
It was
similar
that
time
kinda
to
similar.
Breakfast
Same
Club.
with,
coming of
um,
age type of film.
That film about the boy who skips school and drives around the Ferrari.
Ferris Bueller's Day
Yes,
Off.
I used to really like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I used to really like Breakfast Club. But after watching this, I find it more realistic, if that makes sense. And this, like, I just think I enjoyed that. The humor was a bit more me, and
I think this is probably on par to Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
One, I don't know. Ferris Bueller is excellent.
yeah, it's
Breakfast Club, I would put
cinematography and
slightly
storyline.
under
Yes,
that.
they're all like very good. But I feel like for my humor in general, I know he's not in it for long, but just the humor in general, especially with the teacher versus the high student.
Yeah.
It just
Sean Penn.
it kind of just spoke to me, and I enjoyed it. And it was one of the,
No, it's a good film.
I would watch it if it was rainy and it was just like I wanted a stupid comedy, and I have watched
Fuck
it
off.
since we've watched it, and I've enjoyed it then as well.
Yeah.
It's a good film.
Yeah, I think it was
I
just
rank it lower just because Nick Cage isn't in it much.
yeah. That's the only reason. I would have put it lower, but there was a thing about that film where I quite enjoyed it, and I would write. It's again, I'm just going off recommendations, people, and I will have recommended this movie to more people than I would Leaving Las Vegas, because I know Even Las Vegas as itself is a movie that you would need to go into knowing it's an Oscar-worthy film, and there's like it's pretty dark. But most people don't want a dark film. Most people want like a light-hearted comedy.
Yeah, and
Everyone loves a good teenage drama, 90s.
It coming of age type of thing. And Nic Cage is still Nick Coppola in this.
Yes.
And apparently he changes his name, supposedly, because on the set of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, everyone kept saying, "I love the smell of Nicolas in the morning," in relation to Apocalypse Now, directed by his uncle Franz Ford Coppola, where the line is, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." So he changes his name because of that. But he's Nick Coppola in this film. I don't know if it's because of that.
It does
but
make a lot of
Cringe Nicolas Cage bullied into changing his name.
If that is true though, it makes a lot of sense for Hollywood, whereas there's a lot of like teenage actors and actresses. They find someone who is, I guess it's just like a high school in the sense of the movie. It's like you're a nepotism baby, and you are, because Nicolas Cage is one of the epitomes of nepotism babies.
Yeah, although he has his own style,
He has his own
and
style
he has
and-
his own way of doing things, which I think sets him apart from general nepotism.
And I think it's nice that you can't really class him as that. He's an nepotism, but you can't really class him as one because he has gone out his way to change his name and become his own thing.
Yeah,
There is that point about he is Coppola at the end of it.
he used Coppola to get the first gig, and
Yes.
then he went from there.
Yeah.
It seems.
It's like using your name to become a CEO and then changing it after and becoming a billionaire.
Oh,
My number 5 is 8mm.
boo. Yeah, fair enough.
Great film.
It is good. I think it's one of the better constructed Nick Cage films we've seen so
Can we
far.
just swap Inconceivable and 8mm on my list? Because mine didn't even make the list.
No,
Yep. Alright, thanks. I've
No.
made the change.
It's 8mm
Yep,
is a
that's how it
very
will be from
dark
now on.
film.
yeah, and it's in that style of the David Fincher type films where it's like very transgressive and like there's just like a load of fucking horrible shit going on.
It's stuff that you won't see on a daily basis, and your brain, everyone's brain pushes towards it because it's a new thing.
I feel like it's that type of film, such as Fight Club, such as Falling Down, that appeals to the young white teenage male audience.
Yeah, that's
But-
why I fucking loved it.
But I do feel that 8mm is a good film, and it does hold up. And Peter Stramere's performance, Nick Cage's performance, Joaquin Phoenix's performances, they're all good. And
Set design is also very nice.
yeah, and it drags you into the sort of underbelly of what's going on. I really liked this film, and I thought it was good. I mean, maybe it's because we've seen a lot of shit so far, but I do think this film was good. 8mm. John, number 4.
I can't wait. Amos and Andrew.
Oh.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
yeah.
liked how the main Nicolas Cage's character was written, where he's a
He's a
dumbass,
scumbag.
but he's a smart dumbass.
But he is also, he's a real scumbag. He's essentially a sexual offender.
Yeah, he's a sex pest. Yeah.
But he is still strangely lovable in that role. Like in a real like depraved way, he is still like so sort of like, oh, the way his chemistry with Samuel L. Jackson works in that film is like,
Yeah.
you kind of like empathize a little
Also,
bit with
like
him.
his like actual crime, apart from like the scene where he's like being weird with the pizza delivery girl,
Yeah.
it's kind of an aside. Yeah, I mean, it's like gross, but
Well, no, because that links in with his actual crime.
I know it's his
Why
actual
he's in
crime.
prison.
I know that's why he's in prison. But I'm more interested in his relationship with Andrew.
Yeah, that because Samuel L. Jackson plays an intellectual in that film, and the whole film is based around this idea of black intellectual moving into white neighborhoods, being pinned for a crime that is nothing to do with him, just because he's black, and then you have this back and forth between scumbag white criminal and intellectual black guy. And this is whole back and forth going on.
Yeah,
throughout
they
the whole
kind of
thing.
like they converse kind of like Amos is smarter than, he seems, right? He's able to hold these conversations. He's able to debate points. He's able to make his own points. He notices, right, the preconceptions that Andrew himself has and is able to attack them, And I think that's very good. They both end up... and also I think it takes Andrew by surprise a bit because Andrew had his own preconceptions about Amos, because of course he did. Also, I mean, it's hard for you to not because he's the guy who's holding you at gunpoint for a fair bit. It's good, and also like it's really almost slapstick.
It's
everything else about it.
It's a like continual like build up of everything going wrong, everything like just like building upon each continual like plot point. And it's a farce in the very like original sense of that genre, is that everything starts building and building and building and building, and everything becomes nonsensical and sort of builds on that. But yeah, I agree with you. It's
good film.
It's a good film.
Kieran, you're number 4.
8mm.
Why number 4 for 8mm? What was your number 5?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I think it's because Nicolas Cage is actually in this film more essentially, and also I love a good dark film. I think there's just a thing about it. It's that whole idea of being able to see something that you most likely won't see in other things. It's a genre that pushes the boundaries slightly, and I think Nicolas Cage worked very well with Phoenix, and the other characters' storyline was done very well. It's like this rich man pays for porno, and like Nicolas Cage is attempting to hunt down the girl in the video.
Yeah.
And you have great performances all throughout. The whole film in general is just very intriguing. You kind of want to see what happens next. I didn't see the ending happening the way the ending... Like, it's one of those films where you know when you watch a film, you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen. You kind of don't expect what's going to happen. It's a kind of will it, won't it type thing. Because it could end up like, not to spoil Uncut Gems, where the main guy you're wanting to protect the whole time or understand the whole time dies at the end. That is a possibility that could happen to Nicolas Cage, and it just ends and the bad guys win, because that's the type of genre this film is.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a very well done film, and it's one of the most recent films where Nicolas Cage has been when I've actually physically been like, oh shit, this is I'm enjoying this, rather than being like, oh, let me check.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the first film we did this season, so we had a bit of a break from Nic Cage stuff, but I think we had a few sort of not great ones before that. But my number 4 was also Amos and Andrew, and we talked a fair bit about that. So we'll move straight to John's number 3 as he checks.
Why would I remember it? That was Gone in 60 Seconds. It was good. I liked it. It was fun.
My number 3. Because you needed to put something there.
Yeah, I realise my number 2 is completely wrong.
Oh, okay. So we just moved to my number 3 then.
Yeah.
It's a good film. I mean, there's I don't remember it as well as I do other ones. I remember enjoying it at the time. I guess mostly the decider is just let's go, let's try it. It's good. Some cages
I
will stick with you.
to wanting a full dance scene there.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that was ruined.
And he's dancing in his head. That's what matters.
The whole scene where he dances.
I want to see him dance.
If Fast and Furious brought his character into the universe, I would go and watch Fast and Furious. Like if
that'd be wild. They could just merge the universes.
Yeah. Kieran, you're number 3.
Never on Tuesday.
Number 3.
It's one of my all-time favourite Nicolas Cage films, even though he's not in it. That's why he's number 3. If he was in it for longer, then he would be the end. It would be number 1.
Oh, God damn it.
Ooh.
My number 3 is Leaving Las Vegas. Maybe I'm a shill to Oscar bait.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I do like his performance in Leaving Las Vegas.
I think our kind of number 2 and 3 then are our number. I don't know. Are going to be similar.
Perhaps. I do like.
I mean, it doesn't help that
John,
most of these films are not.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Frozen Ground, which I now think about, is like,
I mean, no, it was a good film.
That's pretty high.
It was pretty high for the film, but it was a good film.
yeah, it's a good film.
Especially
it's not
since
too
our
high.
like disassembling of true crime stuff in the last episode.
Yeah, I think I remember just the episode was fun to record. Right?
Yeah.
We had a lot of talks about it. That's what sticks.
I guess that's part of what plays in.
It inspired a lot of conversation, which I think a film could be good for.
Yeah.
Even if that wasn't the intention of the film, and that we were just like, true crime is bullshit. That was fun. That was fun.
Anyway, Kieran, number 2.
Face Off.
That is my number 2 as well.
Oh, it's okay, we can talk about this then.
Big nerds.
Face Off, I think it is one of those well-known Nicolas Cage films that he is known for.
Yeah.
I think that the whole plot line to it, while dramatically stupid and just out there, they've done it very well, and the fact that Nicolas Cage and John Travolta are playing each other is a thing that you've never really seen before. You've never seen another actor play another actor. It plays
into some fucking brilliant pieces of cinematography.
Yes.
Like where they're both pointing their guns at each other in the mirror. That's a fucking excellent piece of cinematography. Like
It feels kind of forced nowadays.
Maybe,
at the
but,
time,
like,
it might have been.
it was
I
the
still
start
think
of
it's great.
I think if you saw this film when it first came out, your mind would have been fucking blown.
like the first Matrix film.
and
And
if you had seen this when it came out, it should still, hopefully, still one of your most favorite films, because I think it should be up there with one of the best things he's ever done.
It's innovative. It's like for an action, like a blockbuster action film. It breaks boundaries, I think, for the time, and it has some real good fucking Cageisms in it, and it's everything you would want from a Nicolas Cage film, right? So you go into a Nicolas Cage film, you want some fucking madness, you want some seriousness, you want a bit of this, that. Face Off, I think, provides it to you in as best it can. I think it's his best cast film. He's dropped his film. John, you're number 1.
Lord of War.
That's mine!
Yeah, it's a good film.
I agree
You're
with John.
wrong. You are wrong.
You're wronger.
Of course I'm gonna say that.
I
Lord
like-
of War is trash.
No, Lord of
Shut up, it's good. I liked it.
Lord of War is
I liked.
fun.
Again, I mean, it's not true crime. It's based on a true story, which I guess has its own issues.
Which
that we-
is true crime,
Yes,
because the
yes.
true story
That's
is
the-
crime, so
my
it's
whole
true
point
crime.
was-
right, but it's
I
not
love
written
true
like a
crime.
true crime.
No, but it's
a
still
narration.
people died because of this man's actions. So
Yeah, but again, true crime is its own thing.
You can look
Yeah,
at
I just acknowledge that it has the same ethical issues, and you're trying to treat it like as a gotcha. Fuck you. No, Nathan. It has its own issues,
No,
but
it's
again,
a good
it's a
film.
dramatization rather than. Well, I mean, they're all dramatizations, but it's way further on the dramatic end of things. But yeah, doesn't matter. It's a good film. I enjoyed it.
My favorite scene is when they are getting chased by the Americans, and they have to land the plane like on the dirt track, and people just come up and start taking guns. And
Yeah, he's
like,
just sitting there.
he's
like,
like,
They strip
he's
strip the plane.
he's giving it to people. I think it's just a well remembered scene. It's something
That was good.
You like I remember
no, yeah,
this.
it's a very good film.
And there's something about it that just makes me. I think it's because I've seen it quite a lot, possibly that has a bias towards it. But it's an enjoyable film that I'll watch.
I agree. It's a very good film. I very much appreciate it for its quality. I don't know why it doesn't make my top 10, but I think part of it's to do with Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just some of his scenes rub me up the wrong way. I don't know, but as you have predicted, my number 1 is Never on Tuesday.
But
It will stay there until next season, because next season, our very first film, is my favourite Nicolas Cage film of all time.
so far,
No,
so far, it could be beaten.
change.
You don't know. There could be something in there.
I really doubt this film will be knocked off. Like, something extraordinary will have to happen for this film to be knocked off.
Well, that's the fun of watching every single Nicolas Cage film.
Yeah.
You're never not surprised at how good or how bad they can be.
So join us in
However
at
many
least
weeks.
10 weeks' time.
But, yeah.
There's some confusion going on. I'm saying this now. It's already happened. You'll have figured it out if you're smart enough. We're switching between podcasts. From now on, if you want to hear more of us, find Dundee Community Broadcasts, which is a re-upload of a radio series we did, which will be uploaded. You'll be able to find that. If not, if you want to listen to only Nicolas Cage International Treasure, find us right here in 10 weeks' time for Nicolas Cage International Treasure Season 3, Episode 1, A Vampire's Kiss.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
Pretty wacky.
Yeah.
It's
My
like
favourite Nicolas Cage film.
what's the film with Patrick Bateman that's really
American Psycho.
Yeah, it's
similar
very
to
American
that.
Psycho.
Yeah, very much
good.
like that. But thank you for
A Muppets The Christmas Carol. It's basically the same
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
essentially, yeah. You know, James Bond's Casino Royale, basically the same thing.
Balls getting fucking smacked.
Space Jam,
Yeah.
basically the same thing.
Kermit the Frog gets his balls smacked in a chair by fucking, what's his face?
Miss Piggy.
Yes, yeah.
Join us then. If not, we'll see you. Try and catch us in other places. Find our sketches. Take care.
We might be
See
doing
you
live
soon.
in 10 weeks' time, don't fucking know.
Who knows? Goodbye.
Bye bye, beautifuls.
Nicky got me rolling, got me shaking, got me aching, got me twitching, got me snitching, got me making a fuss. Nicky got me bowled over, got me over his shoulder, got me slapping, got me whacking, got me smacking my lips. Oh, Nicolas Cage, oh, Nicolas Cage, he's an international treasure of ours, yeah. Oh, Nicolas Cage.
At least 4 Prats.